Today we are going to see about how to interface ambient light sensor with Raspberry Pi. I am holding a sensor called PmodALS, PMod ambient light sensor. It is having Vishay Semiconductors TEMT 6000X01 ambient light sensor in this board, and it has Texas Instruments ADC 081S021, an 8-bit analog to digital converter in its board. Ambient light sensor converts light intensity available in the environment into analog value. That analog value is converted into digital value using ADC IC. That digital value is being transferred to Raspberry Pi using SPI interface. This sensor module generates data of 15 bits. In these 15 bits, first 3 bits are leading zeros, 4 to 11 bits are the information about the intensity level of light. Bits 12 to 15 are trailing zeros. We have to write a code in Raspberry Pi in such a way that we have to remove leading zeros and trailing zeros and get the correct information about the light intensity. Let's see how to interface this sensor model with the Raspberry Pi. I have connected wires at 3.3 volt of Raspberry Pi, ground pin of Raspberry Pi, serial clock pin, that is BCM 11 pin of Raspberry Pi, meso pin, that is BCM 9 pin of Raspberry Pi, and SPI CE0 pin of Raspberry Pi, that is BCM 8 pin. Let me interface these pins one by one. 3.3 volt is going to VCC. Ground pin of Raspberry Pi is going to ground pin of sensor module. S clock pin of Raspberry Pi is going to serial clock pin of sensor module. Meso pin of Raspberry Pi is going to SDO pin of sensor module. CE0 pin of Raspberry Pi is going to CS pin of sensor module. Now our connections are over. Let us see how to enable SPI interface in Raspberry Pi. Go to terminal and type raspi-config. Go to interfacing options. Go to SPI. It will ask, would you like the SPI interface to be enabled? Enter yes. Now our SPI interface is enabled. Enter. Now let us check what are the SPI interfaces are enabled in Raspberry Pi. Command is ls space slash dev slash asterisk spi asterisk. Command for checking what are the SPI interfaces are enabled in Raspberry Pi is ls space slash dev slash asterisk SPI asterisk. So we have two SPI interfaces are enabled. We are going to use BCM2835C library for interfacing SPI devices in Raspberry Pi. So I am going to download BCM2835C library from this website. There is a download link. Click that. Our library is downloaded. Go to downloads directory in Raspberry Pi. CD space downloads. Our downloaded file is available in downloads folder. Let us extract that file. Command for extracting this file is tarzxvf space bcm2835 1.64.tar.gz. There is a directory created by this command. Go to that directory. Give command dot slash configure. Next command is make. Next command is sudo space make check. It should give pause. Then issue command sudo space make install. Now our BCM2835 library is installed. We can use it for interfacing SPI devices with Raspberry Pi. Create a C file in desktop directory. The file name is spi.c. In that, write a code to read SPI interface in Raspberry Pi. I have included BCM2835 header file and standard IO header file. I am initializing BCM2835 library. If it doesn't get initialized properly, then I will print I could not init BCM2835. I am beginning SPI operation. I am setting bit order for SPI data. Usually it will be MSB first bit order. I am setting data mode of SPI communication. Usually it will be mode 0 operation. I want to run SPI interface at 4 MHz speed. I am giving this parameter BCM2835 underscore SPI underscore clock underscore divider underscore 64. It will make SPI interface to run at 4 MHz speed. Our chip select pin is CS0. I am configuring that. Our chip select polarity is low or 0. I am configuring that in this line. I am having two dummy data on MOSI signal. I am initializing MISO data as 0. I am transacting MOSI data and MISO data for 2 bytes. It will write 2 bytes on MOSI, read 2 bytes on MISO. I am manipulating data received at MISO pin and extracting correct light intensity level from the received data. I am removing trailing zeros and leading zeros in this line. I am ending SPI communication and I am closing BCM2835 library here. This is our code. If you want to run this code, give command as gcc spi.c file name -o output file name. Our output file name is SPI. Linking our library. It will generate one output file called as SPI. This is our output file. If you want to run this file, then issue command ./SPI. It will give the light intensity value from the SPI interface or SPI sensor. Thank you. We have interfaced ambient light sensor with the Raspberry Pi, and we have written a C code to receive sensor data from ambient light sensor and displaying it in the terminal. Now I am going to run the output file of spi.c. Now my sensor is giving 0 to C0 value. I am going to give darkness around the sensor and I am going to run the code now. Now light intensity level from the sensor has been reduced to 0010. This value will go up to 03F0 value, that is the maximum value from this sensor. Minimum value is 0000. 0000 represents darkness, 03F0 represents brightness. Now I removed darkness from the sensor. Let us run the code again. Now I got 0330. So more intensity of light falls on the sensor now. This is the output of ambient light sensor.